So last class we had, if you can remember, we had started off with the features or provision of the Fema Act. We dealt with the first three provisions. The first one was dealing in foreign exchange only through an authorized person. Second was restriction on holding of foreign exchange, and the third one was current account transactions. Okay, now we're going to study the next part of the features or provisions of Fema Act. The fourth point is capital account transaction. So in the previous classes in detail I've explained to you what is current account, what is capital account, how are the transactions bifurcated into these two types of accounts, how does it fall under the category of Fema Act, right? We've looked in detail with examples. Now such capital account transactions fall under the provisions of Fema Act. That is, RBI may prohibit, restrict, or regulate the following. So some Reserve Bank of India may prohibit, may stop. Some it might restrict to up to a certain limit, and some it may allow, but it'll start regulating. That means it'll have a watch upon such transactions, watch upon such inflow or outflow of money. Okay, let's look at what are those transactions. Transactions which alters the assets and liabilities. When if you remember, when we looked at the meaning of capital and current account, when we started with capital account, we said anything which alters the assets and liabilities, right? That belongs, or such transaction belongs to capital account transaction. So the first one which RBI regulates are here, which alters the assets and liabilities of the individuals. Okay, whether they are resident in India or they are residents outside India. Okay, borrowings or deposits between persons residents in and outside India. As I told, if a person resident in India is taking a loan in a bank of Dubai, that will definitely contribute to capital account transaction. The same happens with if a person resident in Germany taking a loan in India, right? That's borrowing, right? Or maybe he might open an FD account in SBI account in India, right? That also will contribute to what? Capital account transaction. And such export, import, or holding of currency notes, then transfer of immovable property in or outside India. So if I am a resident of India, transferring my property which is in England, or there's somebody in Dubai making sure they're purchasing a particular plot of land in India, both these two types of transaction contribute towards the capital account transaction. The RBI will definitely regulate such transaction. It has to come to the notice of the authority. Export and import of goods and services, of course it does not happen without the notice of or under the guidance of Fema, because it focuses on exports and imports. Because every time I'm exporting goods or services, I'm receiving the money in return in a different country's currency. Therefore it will definitely be brought under the guidance or provisions of certain authority. Then realization and repatriation of foreign exchange. Now realization means is recognition of an income, recognition of the source of an income. Okay, now what is repatriation is you are sending it back. Okay, repatriate means send it back to where it belongs to. Now if I have an X limited company in India, okay, it's only a branch in India, but its home country, or where the company is exactly situated, the home country or the head office is in Japan. Okay, so whatever profits this branch office is making, it has to be repatriated. That means sent back to the home country company. Is that clear? Wherever the home company or the head office is situated, whichever country it is, I need to send that money back. Is that clear? That is called as recognizing or realizing and repatriation, or sending it back of foreign exchange. Okay, that will again happen with the opposite. If an Indian company has a branch in USA or Japan, etc., and that profits have to be sent back to the head office in India, Again, that transaction falls under the capital account transaction. Hope you have understood. The first part of the fourth point is these following transactions mentioned there. Next, a person resident in or outside India may hold, own, or invest in foreign currency. It can be anything. He can hold the currency, he might own it, or he might just invest it for the purpose of trade. Okay, foreign currency or foreign security. What is foreign security? I've already explained to you in terms of definitions under Fema. Any financial certificate which has been recognized in terms of a foreign currency, I call that as foreign security. Example, now if I have a letter of credit or if I have a bill of exchange which is denoted in rupees, that is not called as a foreign security. But if I'm holding a bill of exchange which the denomination of money is in the form of N or in the form of dollars, then I call that certificate as a foreign security. Is that clear? That is called as foreign security when the denominations are in different currency forms. Or any immovable property, that is land and building, situated outside or in India or inherited from a person who was resident in India or resident outside India. Now, this entire statement which you have read applies to both conditions, that you are a resident in India but having dealings outside India. Okay, you are a resident in India but you're having dealings outside India. Okay, that means you're dealing in dollars, you're dealing in other countries currencies, or you're buying property from other country, or you're depositing money, borrowing money that is situated outside India. Or the other way around, if you are a foreigner, okay, you are a foreigner from Finland or Germany or Japan, etc., but you're dealing in transactions which pertains to Indian currency, that is rupees. Okay, if you are having rupees currency, or if you're dealing with, if you're a foreigner dealing with bill of exchange which is denominated in rupees, or you want to buy or transfer a property in India, all such transaction also comes under capital account transaction. So just remember, in short, if you're a resident in India, okay, and you're having all kinds of dealings which is outside India, it can be property, it can be currency, it can be security, it comes under capital account. Or the opposite, if you are a foreigner, okay, if you're a foreign resident but you are having dealings with Indian currency or Indian transactions, that can be again currency, security, or any immovable property that is situated in India. Okay, both extremes transaction will fall under the capital account. Hope you have understood. The third point, the third sub point, RBI may regulate, prohibit establishment in India of a branch or office or other business by a person who is a resident outside India for carrying out any activity relating to such branch, office, or business. So, if there is a foreigner, right, or there is a foreign company who wants to open up a branch in India or an office in India or an extension of their business in India, then definitely it has to come to the notice of the authority, right? The government of India, they need to go through all the licenses or all the paperwork with the authorities with the notice and permission of Reserve Bank of India. So that's what the statement says. It might regulate, it might prohibit, right? It might regulate when I say, okay, I allow the foreign company to have a branch, but I'm going to keep a watch upon those transactions, whether they're going to cause any harm to Indian economy, or are they just doing an ethical business. When do I say prohibit? When it is going to cause some harm to our Indian economy. Okay, now for an example, if Walmart wants to start up a branch in India, that will definitely impact all the traders or all the retailers in India. So that is definitely a threat to Indian market or Indian economy. That's when RBI can Prohibit means what? Stop. Okay, prohibit means stop. So I'm going to stop such establishment, I'm going to stop such companies to enter into India, and making that might have a very severe impact that Indian markets drop down. Okay, Indian retailers or businessmen will run out of business. Okay, in such cases RBI might prohibit. In other cases, when it might improve or add on to the economic development of India, it might just regulate. That means just keep a watch by having rules and regulations, etc. Is that clear? So that's about the fourth point, capital account transactions. Fifth one, realization and repatriation of foreign exchange. As I told, if any person in any amount of foreign exchange is due or has occurred to any person resident in India, okay, now if I'm a person living in India, resident in India, but I have earned some income in terms of foreign currency, that means not I've earned not in the form of rupees but in terms of dollars or in terms of Australian dollars, etc., then such person shall take all reasonable steps to realize and repatriate to India. So if I've earned in USA certain shares or dividends, or let's say interest on debentures or any some foreign security, or maybe I've invested in a bank and I get interest for that. So all these income that I have received, okay, I have to recognize that it belongs to a person who's resident in India. So this person has to notify the authorities and take all the legal steps, what has to be followed up, the paperwork, etc., and make sure what it has to realize and to be repatriate to India as specified by RBI. So what did I tell? Realize means I recognize it. Okay, how much is the income? Where have I earned it? What is the source of income? I recognize it. Second, I repatriate it. I send it back to the country where the person belongs or where the person is living in. Is that clear? So what are the exemptions from realization and repatriation is possession of foreign exchange by any person up to the limits specified by RBI. So there are certain limits up to which the person can hold, or the limits that the person RBI scheduled or RBI has laid some regulations. So up to then, up to that limit, there is some exemption. Foreign currency account can be held and operated by a person or a class of persons as specified by RBI. So who can hold such accounts or operate such accounts are those people who are what? Specified by the RBI. You remember when we studied about the definitions of Fema Act, first thing we studied about was an authorized person. That means this person is recognized and has a license to deal with foreign currency with the permission of RBI. Next, foreign exchange acquired from employment, business, trade, and gifts up to a limit of specified by RBI. So all these is exempted with the permission or with the limits specified by RBI. That means whatever foreign exchange that you have acquired because of your employment or because of your business or because of trade, gifts, etc., there is a limit attached to it by the RBI. So that completes your provisions of or features of the Fema Act. The last part is offenses or penalties. When does this occur? Offense when somebody contravenes, right? That somebody goes against and does what is prohibited in the law. If the law prohibits something but an individual is doing that, that action is called as contravening. Is that clear? So offense. Offense means what? You are contravening something that is prohibited in the law. It is considered as a civil offense. So what is the action taken upon for those people uh, who contravene the act? They have to pay some penalties. Number one, if any person contravenes any provision of FEMA, right, he is liable for a penalty up to thrice the sum involved where such amount is quantifiable. Now, let's say if the person who has done a crime or done an action which is prohibited by the law, and let's say the quantifiable is rupees 1 lakh, so 3 times of that amount he is supposed to pay. Second, up to 2 lakhs where the amount is not quantifiable, but if you're not able to exactly quantify the amount of offense that he has committed or done, then in that case, when you're not able to identify, 2 lakhs, up to 2 lakhs, the RBI might put a penalty upon that individual or a company. The final one, if contravention continues every day, penalty which may extend to rupees 5,000 per day after first day during the contravention, he shall be liable to civil imprisonment. So every day from the day he has been contravened or gone against the law, okay, right from that day, every day he has to pay 5,000 as the amount of penalty, okay, until the court finalizes or imprisons, even depending upon the amount of offense he has done against the law. Every day he is liable to pay the penalty of rupees 5,000. Is that clear? So these are the offenses and penalties under the Fema Act. So with this, we complete the Fema Act and we complete the chapter or the unit number 4.